My name's Ray Heskill. I am the Managing Director of Icon Water, and we're here today on Icon Water's Williamsdale property, which is an offset property, and we're learning all about a cool burn with Wally Bell.
Yeah, my name's Wally Bell. I'm a Ngunnawal man. I've grown up here on country all my life. I was invited along today to demonstrate how we carry out our cool burns. It's a traditional practice that's been happening for thousands of years, and again I felt quite proud to be able to convey that message to everybody that was in attendance.
So the main function of the UMCN is to get people collaborating, get people communicating and sharing knowledge. And today was a really good opportunity to get some natural resource management from an Indigenous perspective. They've been managing the land for thousands of years. So what we want to do is build more understanding between their cultural practices and our practices as natural resource management practitioners.
I was describing it to some of the others that, experiencing an acknowledgement to country while you're on country is really quite a powerful experience, particularly Wally's reference to the spiritual connection with the land, and when he did that acknowledgement to country, I think everyone really felt that.
And my father taught me how to do cool burns, which began when I was just a young kid, really. Cool burns are essentially named that because of the fact that they're not impacting too harshly on the country.
The way Wally started was really quite innocuous. I brought some coals over and we started quite a small patch. Then I thought, well, this is going to take forever, but there's a real technique to it, and you can see that there's logic in terms of how it started and how it's managed and the way it's worked its way sort of up the hill with that really controlled front.
If you put that in relation to, say, controlled burn, their burns are what I call set and forget fires, because basically what happens is they'll set a perimeter of fire vehicles, fire trucks, and around an area they want to burn. Somebody lights that fire and then the fire just burns by itself, so it generates a lot of heat and it's quite destructive. Whereas with the cool burn, we're managing the fire as it goes. As you've probably seen, that management then keeps the temperature down, which doesn't then impact on the natural native vegetation as well, which is sometimes just in seed load that might be subsurface, or even the root systems of the native plants that are there. So the top part gets cleaned off, and the root systems then are allowed to regenerate, I guess, and provide fresh new green growth, so the country looks good.
As Wally was saying, that the ground temperature didn't get too high, and so sort of just brushing aside, working behind the fire front there and making sure that things are burning evenly, and it was quite, aside from being effective, it was quite therapeutic actually doing that. And what I've learnt now is making sure that we're not damaging the soil structure beneath that, with the dormant seeds, and so I found it quite fascinating, and it is actually quite effective, despite how it started. It's really surprised me.
And when we said that we were going to do a cool burn event, certainly there were lots of people who were very enthusiastic about that. So we've got catchment groups, we've got environmental NGOs, we've got government groups, we've also got just landholders from the area, and that's been really wonderful just to have some people come along who we haven't met before and kind of introduce them to the network and what we do.
My name is Murian. I am a local landholder in Warialla. Being a landholder, fire is always front of mind. I just thought this was a great opportunity to learn some real local knowledge about how to care for that land and experience, I guess, a positive side of fire and how it can be harnessed for good, I guess.
I thought it was really wonderful. I was so pleased that Wally really invited everyone in to kind of embody the knowledge by, having a go at it. It's a real experiential learning.
That's really important for me. It's really hands-on kind of knowledge. You can't learn this from a book, and it's really good to have a good guide to help you through from him, and I think it will take a lot of practice to actually be very good at it. Yeah, very confident and make it heal the land the way it's meant to.
I think it's also been really valuable to understand and learn around Indigenous communities' connection, spiritual connection with the land and the reasons for why they do things. And I think even as a water utility, there's a lot to learn. It's hard to imagine that there isn't anything to learn from a community that's been inhabiting the driest continent on Earth for over 65,000 years. So it's really nice just to stop and pause and listen and learn some of these techniques. And it's been great today because it's also been quite hands-on, so it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, look, the way I look at it is that I'm demonstrating how to do it, but the practicalities of it, I think people really need to be able to experience that firsthand. It's good to be able to watch somebody doing something, but when you're actually doing it yourself, if you have any concerns or something like that you have doubts about, it gives them the ability then to be able to ask the question while they're doing it, and then get shown or told about how to do it properly and why we do it that way as well.
There is obviously a water utility. We are absolutely obsessed with water quality, and of course water quality stems from really good land management practices and making sure that the source of our water is taken care of. So our partnership with the UMCN has really been vital and instrumental in one of those key limbs that we use among a range of controls that we have to make sure that we're caring for our country, but also if we care for our country, we get better water quality out of that. And so it's all about making sure that our practices are sustainable, and that we're also thinking, I guess, a little bit more laterally beyond just the production aspects of providing water. It's also making sure that we're managing our system in a really effective way. And the UMCN group really helps us do that, and we couldn't be prouder in terms of the support we're providing them to do that.
Yeah, look, I thought it was an ideal opportunity to build up better awareness of that land management practice that we've been doing for thousands of years. It's quite beneficial to the land itself. It can also be of benefit to people's understanding, I guess, of cultural practice on country.
I did feel the ground and I felt how cool it was, and I really enjoyed it. It was so satisfying to see that the way that the ash kind of just sunk down, and you still had the integrity of the ground there, and the grass stubble, and you could see the green fresh kind of shoots coming through, and you can only imagine what it would look like in a couple of weeks if we get a little sprinkle of rain, and it's going to look amazing up there.
I noticed that one lady said to me that even walking back over the burnt ground, she saw a skink running across the ground. So that fire then didn't really impact on the native fauna as well. So
today was that opportunity to learn about cultural practices, but it was another opportunity for us to get together and to network. Everyone's talking about all sorts of different things today.
It was really great, to meet people as well. So especially being a new landholder, it's really good to have that opportunity to meet new people. So
also, as a utility, doing things like this really increases the visibility of the utility, but also more importantly the importance of making sure that we're doing things in a sustainable way. And we also want to engage more with our community groups to hear what they're telling us. We'd like to do more of that, and we'd also like to learn from our community in terms of how we can do things better. So and what you're seeing here today really is just the start of hopefully a very long engagement with our community in a slightly different way. Yuma!